So the big question on everyone's lips, is the property market gonna crash? Hey, what's up guys? Dan Trivedi here. I hope you're all well. Hope you're all having a pretty good week. It's been a funny old week. I've got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house just about finished. I'm going to be bringing you a video and some pictures on that project next week. It's not all clear sailing though. Had some pretty bad news just recently on some properties, so more workers required. Going to have some void periods, which is never great. But look, that's the property world. You take the rough with the smooth. But look, I've been promising this video now for a couple of weeks, and I know everyone is really trying to understand what is going to happen to the property market in 2021. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to give you all my different analysis and how I've come to my prediction. It's not really a prediction. It's my view on what's gonna happen and why I think it. And look, it's gonna be a pretty short video, so you're gonna get the information from me as hard and as fast as I can physically do it. So let's get straight into it. So we all know that at the start of the pandemic, the property market was brought to its knees. It was completely frozen. And in many of my videos, I've said that was the time to buy. And I still believe that that was the absolute bottom of the market. I picked up some fantastic deals and I hope you did too. Then as that lockdown started to ease and people started to understand a little bit more about what a lockdown meant and being in a pandemic actually does do to the market, people started to get a bit more confident. That has definitely snowballed, albeit it's spiked a lot higher because of the stamp duty holiday that was introduced by the Chancellor, which as we know is due to end. Now again, I've predicted in other videos, some of them like 6 months old, that I still do believe that that will either be extended or something will come in its place to make sure that the property market doesn't fall off the edge of a cliff when that is abruptly brought to an end. Let's park that for a little while. If something is bought in or it isn't, I think that the material effect on the overall market isn't going to be significant. I still think the market is going to continue to move forward. There's definitely multiple markets going on within the overall property market, and some are massively overinflated, and there are some great deals to be had on hard to finance properties or properties that are needing huge amounts of work. So there's fragments within the market. And I do think that there is a bit of a bubble on the finished article properties. So the properties that are easy to finance are massively incentivized for buyers to buy, like first-time buyers, and things like investment properties, which are fully tenanted, fully refurbished, and are literally a turnkey solution to a retail investor. And we saw it something similar before we had the stamp duty increase in 2015, I think it was. And I've said this before, people were paying 8 to 10% more for a property to save like 3% on the stamp duty, which is absolutely crazy, but it's all to do with what people can borrow and how much money they have to put into the deal. Stamp duty, you can't borrow any money to fund that. So stamp duty is an actual cost to your cash flow. Whereas an increase by 8% on a purchase price might materialize only into, say, 2% increase in terms of cash, because you can borrow, say, up to 75% of that increased price. So it is all relative to what people can and can't do with the tools that they have to buy properties. And I think that's something we should really consider going into post-March for 2021. Because even though the stamp duty change potentially is going to come and there is going to be no more incentive versus what we've got today, I still believe that because the tools are there for people to buy properties, i.e. mortgages, people are still going to be ramping it up. And it's kind of a little bit like the game is up, the secret is out. People know that even if property prices do drop, it's only ever a short-term thing. They will always recover, and they tend to recover way beyond the original purchase price. So the fear factor in the fact that property prices could go down, could go up, but if they did go down, it doesn't really matter. And because the interest rates have been so low for so long, the chances of them spiking massively up are so slim. The risk profile in terms of the money that you're borrowing and the monthly repayments increasing to a point where, say, rental income doesn't cover it, again, is a very, very unlikely set of circumstances. So because of that, People understand that in things like the pandemic, the housing market is still trading, albeit slightly different. Still trading in these very, very difficult times means that there is bags of opportunity. There's people selling and there's people buying, albeit it looks completely different to it did a year ago or even 6 months ago. That means there will always be people investing, developing, or looking to move to a bigger and better property. And because of that, we aren't going to see property prices overall drop. Now, what we are going to see potentially is some of the bubble fragments of the market pop. And I talked about a property that I recently refurbished, which I've got rented for next academic year, and I put it on the market because I believed it was time to sell it over market value. And I was right. I've got an offer and it is above the market value. It ticks every box that the buyer wants, which is absolutely fine. But that won't continue because the incentives for that individual to pay over the odds are potentially going to go away with stamp duty. So in my view, the property market is going to continue to go up. It won't go up in a straight line. We'll see some ups and downs, curves and spikes, and that is the nature of the beast. But if you are looking to start in property or you're already involved in it and you're thinking, what do I do? Do I sell? Do I refinance? Do I wait? Do I hedge my bets and buy now? The reality is, forget what's going on in the predictions of the market. Just focus on the deals that are being presented in front of you today. And if it's a good deal, then the market really doesn't really matter. You'll be able to ride the wave of anything short term. As long as you're buying with a long-term view on it, even if your short-term goal is the priority, it doesn't really matter. I feel like I repeat myself now on every single video saying, buy for the long term, but take short-term wins. It works across the board. So my view is carry on being aggressive in the market, buying deals. I picked up 2 just this week, great purchase prices, and that's absolutely key. If you get the purchase price right, it really doesn't matter what the market does short term, because eventually you'll make money either by selling it or by holding it and renting it. Stay safe. Hope you found the content rich, and I'll catch you all on the next video.